Well, hello, everybody. Hey, guys, I see some of you have hopped on. I know more of you will hop on as the program, as our live show goes. Hey, Star Seeds and Patriots Down Under. Dots, hi. So good to see you, Lisa. So good to see you. Well, you guys, I'm so excited of the incredible guy that we have with us today. I know a whole bunch of you know exactly who our very special guest is today. Tony, I'm so excited to have you. You guys, we have with us Tony Rodrigues. And again, I know a lot of you know who he is, but for those of you that do not know who Tony is, I'm going to give him a brief introduction. 20, Tony is a 20 and back experiencer of the Secret Space Program. He's also an author of several books. His first book, which is his autobiography, is series Colony Cavalier. And then there's a sequel that he wrote, which is Project Star Maker. And I believe he's in the process of writing another book. But now Tony also is doing a lot of other amazing things, which one of them we will be discussing in detail today, which is remote viewing. So with that, Tony, come on in.
Hey, sorry about my. I had some tech diff. Korean, it's so good to see you. It's been
So
so
good
long. I
to
wish you could give
see
me a big
you.
hug.
Same
Um,
here.
I had some tech diff. My other computer, I couldn't get StreamYard running, so I jumped on this one that's got the crappy camera.
Oh, you're
So
good.
work with me, guys.
Oh, working with
We
you.
got a lot of stuff. I ordered a bunch of stuff that's going to be here in the office, so to take care of this, to tighten up my camera's work.
Well,
But the idea is that content is king, and it doesn't matter what I'm looking like. It's what
you
I'm
look
saying.
great. You look great. You
Thanks.
look great. I love
It's
the
morning
hair.
time here.
I
Make it
love
a
the
little
I
bit.
love the morning hair. Looks really good,
Well,
Tony.
I took a shower and got ready, and then I poured my tea, and then, like I said, the other computer just couldn't run the link, and so the one with the camera. Maybe I'll try it later.
Yeah.
But if we do any screen share stuff, we can do it earlier. So I meant to be here a little earlier for you.
Okay.
Thanks for having me back on. It's been a while.
It
You've
has
been
been a
busy
while.
as well.
Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. It has been a while, but in that time, Tony, you've done a lot of amazing things. Um, so I would like to talk about your are you done with your next book? What are we on now? How many
So
books?
3 books. Beyond Sight was my last book. So I
Beyond
did
Sight.
Series Colony Cavalier, Project Star Maker, and Beyond Sight. And my fourth one is Roughed In, and I've got a lot of subject matter. And you gather. So the point I'm in now is like when I write a book, I have to research a lot,
Yeah.
and so that's where I'm at. Is kind of gathering. Before the book comes out, it'll be the talking circuit this summer that I'm scheduled to do some live appearances, and so a lot of the data from the upcoming book I'll present in my live
Oh, that's
uh,
awesome.
presentations. We're going to do GSIC in the UK, and
Yes.
again in Charlotte, North Carolina, the GSIC. I think it's in September, so
Yes.
that'll be fun in a new area. And then there's Rise of the Guardians next week,
Yeah.
and I'm going to forget about Recontres Galactiques in France
In
in
France. Yeah,
August,
yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah.
a
So
couple
you
others. There's one in Arizona here and a couple others. So it's like I'm very fortunate. I'm honored to
yeah.
ever be asked to tell my story anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Well, your story is so important and so powerful. And it's important because, Tony, a lot of people are getting memories, or, like when you and I started first talking, you were so kind. Because Elena told me to kind of message you because I was getting some of my memories and I'm like, I really don't know what to do with this. So she encouraged me to message you, and you were so incredible to message me back. And you spent some time with me trying to help me figure out and all of that. So I want to say publicly, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
there was a lot there when you and I worked together on your own timeline, on
Mhm.
your experiences and your life. So where there's smoke, there's fire, and there
Yeah,
was a lot there. There was a lot there to consider for sure. I can't tell anybody one way or the other like this happened and that,
right.
but when I look at everything you're telling me, and it starts to line up the way that everybody else's does, yeah, you have to give it a sound. You have to listen to it soundly. So
Yeah, yeah. And the amazing thing is your testimony is so powerful and it's helped so many people. And I'm just one of many, 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 many people. That's why I'm so excited to see that things are continuing to open up for you so you can share your story. Not only that, but you can give people tools, because this is another thing you do. So with, especially now with this remote viewing, because last time you were on with me, you mentioned that you just started doing the remote viewing. So now, a year later, I mean, Tony, share with us. So first of all, I mean, for all of our audience, Rosa, all of you guys, thank you so much for being here with us. And listen, get your questions ready. This is an amazing opportunity for you to ask your questions for Tony. So I talked to Tony, get your questions ready, write them down, send them, shoot them over to us. And Karen, she's going to put them up on the screen. Thank you, Karen, for being awesome. Always incredible. Love you so much. Okay, so Tony, for people that maybe, we have a large Christian audience and maybe they don't really understand what remote viewing is. So let's start with that. What in the world is remote viewing?
If I had to frame it for people, I don't think that it interferes with anybody's spiritual beliefs. I really don't. So it's lesser of a spiritual connection than medium work. So there are some people that, it's a hard no for them to speak to people that have passed in a psychic way.
Yes.
So there's some religions about that, and I think it's up to the individual and what goes on. There's data. There's definitely a medium in the universe. So we live in a 3D time space, and we can meditate and go into frames of mind that let us access information outside of time space from somewhere else. And if we all become the same person when we pass away, or that information goes in there, or there's some kind of other ET that's holding it, I can't tell you one way or the other. We named it the Omnis. So everybody has a name for it. They call it the subspace mind, the absolute infinity, outside of time space, the God mind, or the Holy Spirit, whatever. You can connect and get information. Remote viewing is using a state of mind and a protocol, a scientific protocol, to extract information from somewhere else, like ESP, or just purely a psychic or psychoenergetics form of getting information, looking at a site or an event or a person, and we get real data, we get provable data that's highly unlikely that is a guess. And the thing is, we do it so often with so many people that there's no way it can be luck. So I teach it on my Patreon, and it became six. First, it was like 5-7 people, and then it got crowded, and 20 people, and they showed their results. It was going to 3-4 hour meetings, and so I broke into 3 groups, and then those filled up, and so I've got 5 groups. I've got 5 groups of remote viewers that I meet with, and so what that really does is gives me the ability to get overlapping data, because you don't get everything, because it's abstract. So it's not like it does happen when people get very proficient at it that they can just draw you a picture of what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, wow. You say the Eiffel Tower, and they go, tell me what this is, what this target in this envelope is. And boom, they draw the Eiffel Tower. You go, wow. That's like a high level of remote viewing. But most of the time we get things like, I see a structure that's made out of steel. I see people around it. There's a river. They describe the event and the area around it. And we have so many varied targets that we make it unlikely that they could guess, right? And what I found is that remote viewing is the beginning of other psychoenergetic skills. So remote viewing it's just getting into your intuitive voice, listening. When I say stuff like, what should we have for dinner tonight, right? And you go, everybody sits around and thinks about it. What do you want for dinner? We think what's logical for a long time, and it's usually wrong. And then when you just quit thinking about it in your heart, you go, you know what? I really just want a sub. I really don't want anything simple. Your intuition says, just go get this one. And so you make decisions with all these different processes and voices in your head. And when it's quiet, you get the real one. Or, what was that song? Remember when we were hanging out back and we had that song? You go, what was that song? And you go, can't think of it. All these wrong voices happen. And when you quiet your mind, it'll come to me. And when you quiet those thoughts, all of a sudden your intuition is connecting to the data of outside in the omnis, outside of time space. And you go, oh, it was that one song, and I know, and it comes to you. And that's a remote view.
Uh-huh.
So to somebody, we don't take it to the point. And the other thing is, my groups I keep it basic. We're learning the basics of it. So I do have an advanced group, but the basics are, we're just looking at, describe this can in my office. And that's the target. And so
Wow.
there's no way you would guess that people start drawing a can in an office. I see I see this weird light, and there's like a lamp, and then I see there's like a round cylinder. And so the odds of them doing that are very slim, that would happen times 40 people,
Wow.
they'd
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
overlap. So that proves that it's real. So the religious aspects of it, I think it's a gift that we all have. I think we all have gifts, and
Absolutely.
I think the reality is, if you want to put a religious and I'm speaking to the Christians in the audience or anybody else religious, I'm speaking to
Mm-hmm.
the religion.
Good. Good.
I think that it's been hidden from us by the bad
Oh,
people,
yeah.
that they use these skills for themselves. This science for themselves is old. I'm not inventing anything, and they use it for themselves. And the government poured a lot of research into it, and that's what we teach today: is the government declassified stuff. I hear somebody's cat.
It's my cat. Somehow he got up in the studio.
Cutie.
So, if you guys, if you see my cat jumping here, and I'm just enjoy him. He's adorable. So Tony, I agree with you. I think our gifts were covered or blocked by the dark ones.
Yes.
Especially with religion, by the religious programming. And so I totally agree with you. We are wonderfully and beautifully created. We've shaped, made with so many abilities, with so many giftings. I mean, if we are truly, which we are, a reflection of divinity, of the divine creators, then, hello, even Jesus said the fullness of the kingdom realms are within you. The fullness. So not a little 10%, 20%, not even 80%, the fullness of it. So then in that, we have so many abilities. So now, Tony, I do want to ask, by the way, hello, everybody. Thank you so much. And yes, Dots, you're so incredible. You always remind me to say, please like this video and please share it. And just let's get this disclosure flowing to everyone that's interested in disclosure. So thank you for that. Now, Tony, what is the difference between remote viewing and like clairvoyance, or is there a difference? Because in the Christian arena, when you're describing it, the Christians can look at it and say, oh, that sounds like the prophetic gift, because somebody that prophesies can see things. Is that the same or different?
So, yes.
Yes.
No, so clairvoyance or prophecy it's the same science of what's going on. So there's an electrical component to this. There's a science and the way that the universe works. And so the science of it is the same for all ESP or psychic. It's called psychoenergetics. So everything that a human mind can do, bending a spoon, seeing the future, remote viewing, even channeling, which is dicey, is a different thing.
Sure.
But it's all the same science, essentially. It's your brain, and you can quiet it down and let things happen. The science is the same of clairvoyance and prophecy and remote viewing. It's the same science. So we're talking about, a motor, whether it drives a boat or a car or a tractor or an airplane. It's just the motor. So that's the science of it. Remote viewing itself is nothing like that. So it revolves on a blind or double blind target where the viewer has no idea what they're looking at. So that's an important key because it lets us confirm it. So let's say you're the most gifted prophet right now. You're like this prophet. And I say, Corina, I need you to tell me, Corina, please tell me what's going to happen in my house next week. And you prophesize it and you're right. The thing is, because we all know what the target was, did the prophecy come true, or did we make it come true by our awareness? Or did we look for things that would support the prophecy? Like there's self-fulfilling prophecies because it's known. It's known. I think I have one here. But a remote viewing, I don't have my envelopes here. A remote viewing is a set of numbers. The target is written on a piece of paper. It's in an envelope, sealed. Only the targeter knows it. He hands it to somebody else who then puts random numbers on it, and we give the random numbers to the viewers. The viewer has no idea what the target is, unlike a clairvoyant session or many of the other things, a channeling, all of it.
Mhm.
So they have a rough idea what's going on prior. So it's hard to prove that you were right, that it's not some other means. But if I say the target is what happens in my house next week, and a tree falls on it, and the remote viewer they just have a number and it's written in an envelope, and they see a tree on a house, it's kind of hard to argue
Right.
that wasn't right, that wasn't exactly, that the remote viewer wasn't remote viewing. It's hard to argue to that
That
because
is.
they have no idea. We open the envelope and I show them, and most people are flabbergasted. That's really the fun part, the game.
Yeah.
That's the gaming part about being in the remote viewing groups. I give 2 targets a week. Everybody shares their results. We do a share screen, everybody shares the results, and then I open the envelope and we see who got what. Some weeks people are off, they get a little bit of the target. Some weeks they nail it, stick it, and it comes and goes, and it's just fun because people go, "Oh my God, that's exactly what I saw." There was a question, if I missed it. Let's see. Listened to many of your interviews, but I never really understood the magnitude of all you've been through until reading your book series.
Mhm.
Wow. So, and where I'm at now, it's really a strange thing to still be doing stuff and doing interviews.
Yeah.
After so many years, I was talking about the 20 and back and what I
Yep.
went through. But the reality is that to touch on that, my 3rd book is about my trip to Inyokern. I went
Okay.
physically to Inyokern, the place that was in the very beginning of Ceres Colony Cavalier in
Mhm.
the 20 and back, and
Mhm.
found the building exactly how I remembered it.
Wow. Oh, yes, 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 yes.
So I went there and found a bunch of data, and that's what led me. And then while I was there, I got more memories of what we were doing there. Before that, in the book, I just remembered the torture, the trauma-based stuff. Those were the loud memories that stood out. I didn't remember the conversations or what was for lunch. But when I stood there in person and could smell it and feel it, I could remember that we were doing remote viewing research, that it was a program, and that's what was going on. I could remember the less painful things, and that led me into better than a year of research into remote viewing and remembering what I went through. And lo and behold, it made me able to teach it. And I'm still doing things that are still working on some projects that are like advanced, that are probably classified at some point, if
Mhm.
not still. We're working on some things, and we've taken it quite far. As far as I know, I'm the only person publicly that has proven remote viewing countermeasures, or the ability to block remote viewing.
Talk
So
about that. Talk about that countermeasure, because I've heard you mentioning that. So, what exactly is that?
So the whole reason that they took me, the project that I was in Ceres Colony Cavalier in Inyokern,
Hmm.
was advanced psychoenergetic research, and they were trying to invent a way to have countermeasures to hide their secrets from foreign remote viewers. They were aware that the Chinese had remote viewers, the Russians had remote viewers, and so the United States was trying to see it, and then they thought we were clones, so they justified it morally by saying these kids are clones. And they are aware the Chinese were using children for remote viewers. So
Yeah.
children are very pliable. If you tell them, if you close your eyes and follow this, this, and this, you can remote view, and you tell me what you got, the kid will believe you. If you tell it to an adult, their cup is kind of full. So everybody knows that children are psychic radically anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so there's a connection. There's probably a medical reason. There's probably an electrical reason why
Hmm.
children are better at it than adults. So they were trying to get the maximum of what they could do and then do countermeasures.
Hmm.
So that's what I remembered, that we were doing countermeasures research. We were doing out of body remote viewings with out of
Hmm.
body countermeasures. I wrote about that in my books, the chapter in All in Beyond Sight, my 3rd book.
Hmm.
Um, so we reproduced it. So I think the first one was 9 viewers and 4 blockers, and a target.
Hmm.
And the target was the tree in one of the redwood trees where they filmed Empire Strikes Back. The tree, the Luke Skywalker. It's
Yeah.
a famous tree in the forest. So that was the target, and the blockers projected false targets, the sun and the ocean and things. And so they knew when the target was going to be, and so they were projecting false targets. And the viewers, that's exactly what the data supported, was the viewers did not, they got a tree burning in the sun or a tree in space. They got the target data was wrong. Every week I have a scoring system, and we average out the group's scores. And so
Mhm.
15 is the sweet spot. So when they get between 12 and 15, they did really good. And on that blocking one for the first time ever, they've never gotten under a 10 ever. When I talk
Wow.
about a group of 15 people,
Wow.
you average out the scores because, like I said, some people have a good day and a bad day. Some people get a 9, or they have a
Mhm.
bad day. The groups never
Wow.
averaged under 10. When we did the blocking experiment, they averaged 7, so it worked. They did not
Wow.
get the data, so we did it again
Mhm.
with a different protocol and less numbers, and it was the same thing, same results. It was closer to a 10. I think we just did it a few weeks ago. Because every class, when they get to a certain level we do the blocking experiment to prove it, and they
Mhm.
just did it again, and they got like a 10. It was little. There were some what do you call it? Sloppy
Okay.
sloppy setup for the experiment on my part this last time. The
Uh-huh.
first time we did it, everybody was serious. We talked about it for weeks. Then this time, but it still works. You can project false targets the same way that you target. There's a method to targeting, and so that's just one way. We've also found ways to get around it. There are now some of my viewers that have been with me for a year.
Mhm.
They got through. So you can figure out. So you can block this. It's a countermeasure and a countermeasure again.
Mhm.
It's kind of
Mhm.
like they invent a missile that seeks heat, and then they make a flare.
Mhm.
So now they have a missile that comes with radar that makes stealth. Now they have a missile that comes with a
Mhm.
laser. Like it's that has kind of been the case with the remote viewing stuff. But you can block, and our group is after I put the book out, we got blocked. The scores
Oh,
dropped. I hit the target, and then the scores went back up. So there was
wow.
somebody out there that read my book that started blocking our groups.
Isn't that something? Now, Tony, I know we talked about we all have gifts, amazing gifts. Now, I'm sure you're going to get this question, but I'm just going to jump ahead and ask you, um, can anybody do this, or is there people that have certain special abilities, or can anybody do it?
It's like basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody can play basketball. They have wheelchair basketball
Good
leagues
job.
for
Yeah.
guys that are in wheelchairs, and they
Yeah.
have all these basketball. But some people can play in the NBA because they're just naturally tall and athletic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the exact same with remote viewing. Everybody can put the ball in the hoop. Everybody can remote view and get data. Do you
Mm-hmm.
want to play? But do you play basketball once a year?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's how good you are. You're like, man, I missed. Or do you play basketball every day, all day for
Yeah.
8 hours? And that's what we see is that remote viewing is a skill that once you practice it, you get better at. So that's
Yeah.
why the curriculum I have is 2 targets a week for a year. And so you get up to 100 targets. And after people get up
Wow.
40, 50 targets, they get really good at it. And if they choose, they can go into the more advanced stuff. But we keep it simple. I don't remote view like who shot Kennedy, and I don't remote view Area 51 and stuff like we do. We
Okay.
do simple targets. This pop can, the Eiffel
Mm-hmm.
Tower, simple stuff that we open the envelope and you go there it is, because it's the idea that they get in touch with their intuition.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
not. I don't care. Other remote viewing groups, which there are some really talented people
Mm-hmm.
that are remote view groups. They work with Dr. Sala. You see the guys Dick Allgaier, the Hawaiian Remote Viewers Guild, Glenn
Yes.
Wheaton. Um, I'm forgetting someone. Farsight,
Yeah.
Courtney
Yeah.
Brown, Yemi Janae, Aziz Brown. Like they're heroes in remote viewing.
Mm-hmm.
These are people. These are people that are historic figures in
Yeah.
public remote viewing. But they tend to go after the sensational targets,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah. Right.
the Abraham Lincoln assassination, or what's on the back of the moon, the surface of
Yeah.
Mars, kind of stuff. They go for those kind of targets. We just keep it simple. We're just learning to get in touch with our intuition and do it like that.
Yeah. So, because you mentioned that, the next question that I guess I will ask you, um, remote viewing, can it be done in looking in the past? Can you look in the future, or is it just for the present moment?
Yes. So it turns
Mhm.
out, so like I said, we coined the term only a couple weeks ago, last week, early, the omnis.
Yeah.
So what happens is basically your thoughts give off signals, and
Hmm.
the signals dissipate. And when they get to the Planck distance, and this is supported by Dan Winter's research and Isaac Bentoff's Stalking the Wild Pendulum, which a lot of the ESP research from the CIA
Mm.
and the Stanford Research Institute was based upon. It's based upon Stalking the Wild Pendulum by Isaac Istov Bentoff. I'm saying it wrong.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but it's called Stalking the Wild. So the science in there says that your brain waves, when they get to when you get into the right frame of mind, you can you get to the Planck distance and you can access the information outside of time space. So I call it the omnis. And when you do that, it's literally outside of time. It's anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
There is a phenomenon that changes the future when you stare at it. So think about this. You never been where somebody's you're a pretty woman, right? So I don't want to make this weird, but every pretty girl knows when somebody's looking at them.
Right. Yeah.
Unaware of it. You have that feeling of eyes on you or not on you.
Yeah.
Every girl in the world experiences that.
Yeah.
The future does that.
Yeah.
So let's say the pitcher, we're betting on the World Series. So what is the score on the World Series? And it's going to happen. The guy's playing baseball, and we remote view the pitcher, the guy pitching the game.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he goes to pitch, and now our remote viewers, and now that we do it right now, it changes the timeline because he goes, somebody's looking at me. That's weird. And he pitches and he misses. The guy hits a homer. It changes the game.
Yeah.
So we change the future by looking at it.
Yeah.
And so when people are being looked at, they behave differently, and you can change the future. There's other science, but I mean, we got all day.
Quantum physics too. I mean, it's so quantum physics. So yeah.
Just that phenomenon of the people in the future being aware that somebody in the past is watching them can change their decision making and change the future. And so the game changes, and you go, one remote viewer goes, the first people look at, well, the World Series was 8-0. And then we have a team of remote viewers, another 15 people look at it, and they go, no, we got it. It was 6-3. He gave up a triple. And then they keep looking at it, and the game changes. You can change the future because the present has authority over the future. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So where we're at now has authority. My future and this pop can that I always use. So I'm going to set it right here, right now. And it'll stay there for the near future until I move it. So I have authority because I chose it there.
Yeah. So good.
So the present has authority over the future.
So
and not the past. It already happened. So when we look at the past, it doesn't change.
Okay, yeah, that's so good. Such a good explanation. So obviously, Tony, we know that the CIA has used this for many years. Have you noticed, or do you know of the different types of technology, maybe, or that remote viewing has evolved in any shape, form, or fashion because of technology?
Corina, you're on fire today with the best questions I could have asked. Like it feels like I wrote the questions for you.
Oh, awesome!
You're good at this. This is great. So yes, there's a lot of peripherals. I call them peripherals, and in fact, I've created a sister company to Maple Street Learning because the audio products that we are developing, the audio products for the learning company, work with remote viewing. So binaurals, so specifically binaurals and isotronics and bilateral tones. Excuse me. I'm having tea, a lot of coffee. What happened was for learning, so the idea you can change somebody's brainwave by the sounds. And the Monroe Institute, I present paperwork. The Monroe Institute, Bob Monroe, and those guys had security clearance in 1979. And for the program that I was in through Grill Flame for remote viewing research with Stanford Research Institute. And they were using binaural tones. So you get in that meditative state much faster. So that's why the monks are chanting. So that the different tone in one ear from the 5 guys on the side of the room and a different tone over here, and you get into a binaural state. It's a medical thing. It's all kind of old news. I crossed some of the technology with the collapsing to the Planck with Dan Winter's info, and made binaurals tuned to that framework of science, and created. So I had subliminals, little affirmations of voice. You can barely hear the little whisper. It says, "You're a great remote viewer. You're gonna remote view. Wonderful today. You can remote view. You have access to all things. Today is wonderful. You're gonna see things like that." I put those in a track under it, and then I put white noise like the rain. I like the rain or the ocean, and then a binaural, then a bilateral, then an isotronic. So you can just play it in your house. And if you listen to it long enough, it's a 30-minute track, you'll go into closer to a brainwave state of when you're right before you're going to go to sleep. So it'll help you get to that brainwave state, and that's really a sweet spot for remote viewing. So that's one. So it turns out that so I shoot at for the binaural either an alpha in the alpha range at 12 and a half, 12.9, I forget, or the Schumann 783, which is really a solid one. But the Schumann, if you listen to it long, it makes you sleepy. Like, don't drive a car on it.
Right.
But I make those, and they were a big hit with the team. So the scores went up. So people that are clipping along at 10, 11, 12, they get this track and they listen to it for 30 minutes, and they do it. They go 12, 13, 14, 15 on their scores. Scores go up. But then we went into other stuff like paying attention and healing and energy protection. So people that are using the black magic, it's your energy field, energy manipulation. So I started making the same exact product for that. I call it Suit Up. And it turned out that it was great to listen to. Like if you're going to go to a meeting or you're going to get an argument, or, like when you're in somewhere, driving in traffic, if you listen to it, you really get in a good state of mind. And we're making a ton of them, making weight loss and quit smoking. And I started a website with those. There's 3 of them up now. But then my research into obelisks and crystals, Vogel crystals, which I deeply love. It's a huge addiction of mine for quartz. My research with Dan Willis and with the dance, I put that in my book too, because I surmised that the obelisks of Egypt were psychoenergetic monuments, that they were using there's some kind of technology. Because they're just like the Vogel crystal. And when I started really undoing that, I made one. I made some. And I found out that the same harmonic, you can put a piezo pickup and broadcast the same harmonic that you're listening to. And the obelisk, because it's quartz, the quartz gets like microscopically hit from the sound waves and lets off an electrical signal, a static electricity, the same harmonic as what you're listening to.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you're near it, there's a cloud of it, your whole body gets it now. So this is way beyond, this is way more than what we've heard publicly about binaurals. So you can tune, and it works. Hey, there's my book.
There you go. Yeah, it's really interesting because as you're talking about, the state of mind and the brain waves and all of that, I had a group since 2020 that was a private group on Facebook called Revolution is Here. And that was a group of people from around the world where we would go in and remote view where the children were this is regarding children, where the children were being held in different parts of the world, even underground, even under the water, where there were bases. And, we would do what we needed to do at that moment in time. And it was very interesting because you can literally see after we did that, a response to that in the natural. So for instance, one of the things we did a few times was we engaged with the weather, with the elements, to bring a shaking, not to harm anybody, but to bring a shaking to uncover where these dumps were, so that the boots on the ground can go rescue the children. And it's crazy because I don't know if you remember, it was probably a summer of 2020 where there were these earthquakes or even spaceships that kind of appeared, and then there were earthquakes that happened. And in Lebanon specifically, they discovered a labyrinth, that's what they called it, underneath the ground. So it was, it was quite amazing. So yeah, it works. I mean, it absolutely works. So I want to encourage all of you guys, and Tony, you do these courses, obviously. So how can people get be part of this? Because you guys, you have gifts inside of you that are so powerful, that are dormant, or they have been blocked because of programming, because of, be it on the DNA level, be it on, a subliminal level, be it because of religion, whatever the case may be. The bottom line is you have powerful gifts inside of you that when you tap into them and you unlock them and you start using them, you can be the answer that you've been asking for, because you are a powerful being. So with that being said, Tony, how do people, we're still going to pick your brain about stuff, but just really quickly right now, how do people get on your program? How can they connect? Yes.
There you go. TonyRodrigues.com. It'll link to my Patreon. It's my Patreon groups. And then in there, there's the alpha group is where you'd start. The tier 3 group is kind of like what we do, what you were just saying. It's
Mm-hmm.
influencing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother ball. That's a whole
Yeah.
nother level up from remote viewing is psychoenergetics and remote influencing the
Ah.
target. So not looking at the target, but influencing it. It's funny that all of this came out from me researching the 20 and back.
Mm-hmm.
There's my website. So contact that email is totally jammed packed. I can't get to those emails. So many of them.
Yeah, I'm
You
sure.
can buy the books there. If you go down, I think it should say join as consultant. I'm going to get rid of those. The booking a session, I can't do that no more.
Yeah, I'm
There's
sure.
Alpha Group with learn remote viewing. You can click there, and that takes you to my Patreon. And I think there's another link if you keep going down. There's the memory course is there, and then join the community. I think is my Patreon as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you can join the Patreon, and those are like videos that I put out. And then Motives is our professional group, so people hire us to remote view things.
Oh, interesting. Very, very good. So
And
people can contact you there. So you guys, I encourage you just engage and try as best as you can to unlock those abilities that are inside of you. Every one of you is special. Every one of you have gifts. We all have gifts. There's not one person that's above the other person. But like Tony said, professional basketball players, or we can all shoot that ball, even if you have to get on a chair, like me.
practice makes perfect. It's practice.
Yeah, practice. So that's awesome, Tony. So I love that you were saying that, because just listening to you, I'm like, oh my gosh, we were doing that without me having a title for it. And when I go into these things, again, I do what you were saying. So it's really cool. So let's see. Have you encountered well, let me just be careful how I say that. um when you remote view, now you did a show with is it Mike? I think Michael. And you
Yeah.
guys did a he asked you to remote view something that's in Alabama. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Oh, that one. So
I,
yeah, we do. We
thought that
did
was
do targets,
pretty
and you know what?
darn awesome.
That was one of the targets that was fringe. So Michael was great guy. We hit it off, and live on his show, I did a
Yeah.
timeline reading for him, and he's probably been involved. And he was like, it was like live, like it really stunned him
Yeah.
when I told him what date. I did the 20-year timeline, and I said, "Well,
Mhm.
what happened here?" And he goes, and he was in shock because how did you know that? We did it live on the air, so that was a big moment. But then he goes, "Please, can you look?" And because of that, it's like bonding when you go through that with somebody,
Yeah, of course, of
And he
course.
goes, "Can you remote view this place, this court, this for me?" He gave me a random set of numbers. I told him how to do it. He's like, "Can you remote view that?" And I was like, it's blind to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so to pose it to the teams isn't fair. Like, what if it's some kind of war zone or some really bad?
Yeah.
Um, you get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like energetically, you have to close it. You have to close the door behind you because
Yeah.
when you get out into the omnis, all the energy is the same. And so when you remote view the target, you eventually bring bits of that energy back with you. So if you
Uh-huh.
remote view something very terrible, you have to go through a process of, cutting it off and cleaning the energy out and reaffirming your sovereignty from it. So doing it in a blind manner, it's one thing when going into it that we're looking for a missing person.
Right.
We could find a dead body, we could find a lot of dark stuff when we're looking for somebody missing, rather than looking for my pop can here, my famous pop can.
Yeah.
But Michael gave us that target, and we did. It was confirming there was an underground base. There were ETs, lots of military stuff, and it was exactly. And we found a tunnel to the town. That it was
Mm.
a tunnel. And it's been a while ago. Forgive me if I'm wrong because it's like
Yeah.
200 targets ago.
Yeah.
But we did find it. It was confirming, and I think I had a good amount of 25, 30 viewers on that target, and there was all overlapping data. There was a great deal of data that overlapped.
Wow, yeah, that was quite fascinating actually when I saw that. Now, Tony, what is I heard you talking about beacon remote viewing. What is that?
That was one of the original versions of it that they did for when they were researching it in the 70s. So instead of a target written on an envelope, and it kills me that I don't have my envelope where I can reach it. Here's one,
Oh,
like this. So
yeah.
there's a, well, fingernails. but there's like a random set of numbers, and I give that to the viewer, and that's it. So they just go, they start out and they do a meditation. We do it step by step, the binaural, then the meditation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's a CRV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Controlled or coordinate remote viewing. Those are coordinates on the. It's not a real coordinate like on a map, but that's
Mm-hmm.
the coordinates on the envelope that to control coordinate remote viewing.
Now,
A
why the
beep,
numbers, Tony? Why the numbers?
it can be letters. You don't even have to have anything on the envelope at all. Like it can be a blank envelope. If I say, okay, here's the target, go,
Okay.
they'll get your data. So the numbers aren't. It's just something for me to type so that the groups get it. I share it on Patreon. They get an email, and I say, here's
Oh,
your
got
target.
you. Okay. Okay.
So then they just use that and they concentrate on the numbers and they pull data.
Got you.
But beacon remote viewing is this. So I go, okay, Corinna, you're going into the area that we want to learn about. You're going to walk through. We suspect that they're having children in this little town, this little hamlet, somewhere in these village. We think that there's a house, and so you're going to walk through it. So you meet the remote viewers, and then I go to the remote viewers and I say, "Where is Corina now? Tell me
Mm-hmm.
about where she's at. What's going on?" And you're going there and you're looking like, "Where is this place?" And so that's how we don't have coordinates. We don't have an envelope. We're remote viewing you are the beacon
Ah,
at
okay.
the target area. And so we experimented with that too. You know what's great is I was driving from Michigan to St. Louis to go to the Journey Truth conference last year. And
Mm-hmm.
the teams did the beacon. I was the beacon. And I said, you guys just keep write down what time you do it, and I'll know where I was. And I was at a Starbucks. I pulled over to get gas, and we went to Starbucks, and they remote viewed the parking lot and the
Wow.
Starbucks. There was like, they remote viewed. They described there was a set of flags. There was on the middle of the street, like a roundabout, and then they had a bunch of flags, and everybody was drawing the flags in the view. It was crazy, and I was like, you guys got me exactly when I stopped. And we checked the time that they were prosed it, and that it was exactly right. So I did the beacon.
Okay, that makes sense. Wow. Okay. Wow. 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 So let's throw some questions, Karen. Let's see some questions so Tony can answer some question. Okay. Please tell us something. What's going on? Okay.
I'm not sure what
Yeah.
Garabandal. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, that's Garbandala. Doll. Yeah, Garbandala.
Garabandal. I have no idea. I wish I did, but I don't know
Yeah,
anything
I've
about it.
never heard of that either. So if you can specify and come back with the question, if you can find a hidden Bible.
That's a neat target. So you mean the hidden Bible or a hidden
Yeah.
Bible, like one of the books from it? Like that would be a neat target. Phonic remote viewing. So when we're looking at phonics, so let's say you have a tablet on your desk where you're at, and I want to read it. There are methods for that for doing the phonics, like sorting out letters.
Hmm.
And we get kind of like we haven't spent too much time on it. We've dabbled with it. You can we get like a garbled version of the letters. You get 30 letters written down. We'll get 10 of them, and then try to figure it out like that game show. But there's
Oh,
other ways to do it if you do it really all the time. So that would be a neat one to
yeah.
look for the tablets or any kind of hidden, but
She
like the
says
Vatican archives.
it's supposed to be under the pyramid. So I guess she's referring to a specific Bible
Something
that's
tells
under the
me
pyramid.
just a hunch. I have just a hunch that underneath the pyramids is going to be a very popular remote viewing target in the next few weeks, because we just had that out where they found all that structure underneath the pyramids. So
Yeah,
something tells me every remote viewer and their brother is going to be remote viewing it very soon.
you're talking
Um,
about those huge that the pyramids are just. I mean, the top is just the top of the huge.
yeah, it's just the tip of the
Isn't
iceberg.
that
The
something?
columns that go down almost a
Isn't that
kilometer.
something? Gosh, the,
Oh, that changes the whole world.
it
All of a
sure
sudden, people
does.
don't realize it, but it changes the whole entire world. Like we have to forget the official narrative has totally been nuked.
Yeah,
What they said about slaves building the pyramids, no way. There's no way that they could dig a kilometer hole.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
just no way.
See,
And
truth is
so they
coming
have
out. Yeah,
the official history has been destroyed this week.
totally,
Awesome.
totally. Yes. Okay. Can you explain? Okay, what the outbound is? Okay, Tony, go for it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the context dots and outbounder. I don't know the context. That's new. That term is new to me. You guys have some questions here today. So I like that. I'm stumped. I like that.
Very good. See?
Now I can look for it.
Yes, yes. Okay, this is a good question.
Yeah,
Now,
you guys did a remote view. I saw that. You guys were with you and Elena and the
yeah.
doc were in Romania. You guys did it too.
Yeah, we went with our consciousness. So we, what's the word I'm looking for in English? I forgot it. But yeah, we basically projected our consciousness inside, so we were able to see. But I've done that quite a bit, Tony, without realizing that that's what I'm doing. I mean, I've done that for
Absolutely.
years, and it's like when you're talking, I'm like, oh my gosh, meditative state, those tones in the brain. I've seen a lot.
So try this. Have somebody pick a spot and write it on a
Okay.
blank piece of paper,
Yeah.
right? Have
Oh,
someone,
yeah.
and you don't know it, and have them put in an envelope and do the same exact thing, Bella. Tell me what we're talking about in the envelope. At first, you might be scared.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happens when the first time people do it. They're like, what if I get it wrong,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
And so people are scared. But really, if you don't care about it, you just let go of all that. People most of the time hit the target right out of the gate.
Yeah. Oh, I'm already thinking of doing that for sure, for sure. Awesome. Okay. Next question. Let's see. What binary tones at HZ cycle do you recommend? Okay, good question.
They all do different stuff. So there was a time when I was a manager of a floor store, and I would be on the sales floor, and people would like come in and be witty, and they were sharp with me. Like I couldn't keep up with them, and come with comebacks. So I started listening to a 20 hertz binaural when I went to work on my way to work in the morning, and it made me a little bit quicker on my feet.
Mm,
Um, but the one I recommend for if you're going to do a remote viewing, like Corina, if you were going to do a session
yes.
with somebody, and even what you did, even just projecting, you're
Mhm.
doing like an astral projection,
Yes.
a 7.83 for at least
Seven.
6 minutes.
What?
7.83
Okay.
for at least 6 minutes,
Hertz for six
preferably
minutes.
24 minutes to a half hour. But
Okay.
listen to that and then meditate and then do your thing. And
Okay.
it's a hemisync, binaural. But any binaural is going to help you. Um, any binaural is going to give you hemisync, and you're going to have better results. Almost all of them. There's some that actually have the opposite effect. There are some tones that will make you out of phase from your hemispheres. There's a
Oh,
couple tones that are destructive, and I think that they can use those on us. We don't even know it.
yeah.
Media, yeah.
Oh,
Um, Another good one. I think if I were going to go into the alpha, let me see here. I've got some stuff here. It's 12, 7, 12.6, 12.7.
6. Okay, you guys
And
are
that's
taking
in the
notes,
alpha
right?
state.
Alpha
What's
state.
that?
I was telling the viewers, you guys are taking notes, right? So that's an alpha state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
right in there. So the other ones are going to wake you up. Once you get over into the 20s, once you get over 15, it'll start bringing your brainwave where you're excited. And
Okay.
so the faster the tone that you hemisync starts waking you. You like 20 to 40 is great for concentration,
Mm.
right? 50 in the 50s is healing. So I've been running that on my obelisk.
Oh,
The
yeah.
tone at night, and I don't know if there's some legality. Like we're going to offer the obelisks. I'm trying. They're hard to make. They're expensive and they're hard to make. They're going to be a couple $1,000. I'm being frank with you guys. I poured a lot of money into the experiment, and every time it pans out. But I've got one by my bed, and I play the 50 tone in the 50s,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I play it you can't hear it, but you can feel it. I have a trimeter. You can see that there's a volts per meter, like a range of like 10 or 12 feet that you can see it with the meter that it's giving off the static electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And I slept with it, and after a month, it's like a lot of problems I had went away.
Oh, wow.
So I was having pain. I was going to the doctor for high PSA tests. They were giving me biopsies. They were looking for cancers, and I was having pains. And it went away. It took a week or two, and now I'm still doing it. It's been a couple months. I'm actually feeling better. Like it's a long story. So it's scion.com. So the website where they're going to come out and the binaurals are on is
Good.
psiion.com. The obelisks, I have to buy some tools. So I have to buy some machines
Okay.
to be able to, and it's hard to get materials. Like I was using like a grainy quartz. I was taking quartz
Mm-hmm.
and breaking it
Okay.
into gravel,
Uh-huh.
and it's too heavy. And so when I do nano quartz, when you break it into a really fine powder, it works much better. With
Okay.
other things and like magnetite, and it's in epoxy, and there's electrics. So it's hard to make, but we're gonna offer those for sale. And like I'm hoping that I'd be a vendor. One day they'll stop asking me to speak at conferences, and I'll still go. I'll still be there, but I'll have my obelisk for sale and my stuff. My books and my obelisk will be for sale.
I don't think
That's
they'll
my
stop asking you to
evil
speak, Tony. I just think you're gonna have to wear
plan.
multiple hats at the conference.
So,
Conference.
okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
PSIIOM. So NBC, it's just change
P-
the F with an S.
PSI.
Yep, PSIION. So two I's.
Oh,
Scion.com.
okay. Yeah. You guys, thank you so much. I see so many of you jumping on. Hello to everybody. We have somebody from Bosnia.
Heard.
My gosh, I love that. Quite a few from different parts of the world, different states. Dawn, hi, sweetie. Let's see. I just want to make sure I say hi to all of you guys. So glad that you are here joining with us. If you hear a kid in the background, is my very talkative cat. He's my black cat, Panther, and he's just decided to come up here and just talk to us.
Saying
So
hi.
yes, he's saying hi. So okay, please send your questions. There we
Oh,
go.
Alina, I want to say this to Alina that people that I worked with in the memory counseling, it's actually common that people before 9 years old have a huge memory gap. I didn't know. I
Mhm.
can remember a lot of my childhood, but it's actually quite common that people lose childhood memories. You can get them back. Um, it's an alpha state of mind you want to do, and you can meditate before bed and think about anything that you do remember. It takes a little bit longer. There he is.
There's my little
um, but you can glean those memories back. But it is also a common thing for people that don't have childhood memories for
Yeah.
whatever reason. And you can speculate all you want, but you could have a normal childhood and still lose those memories. It could be a development thing, it could be a genetic thing, it could be trauma, it
Mm.
could be ETs, it could be any of a lot of different things. But you're not the only one. I guess that's all I want to say about that. If you think about what you can remember your earliest memory and keep giving it time, keep giving it space, like every night before bed, think about your absolute earliest memory and then ask yourself what happened before this,
Mhm.
and do that every night for 2 weeks. You'll get more. You should get new memories. You should get more.
Very
um
good point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys, as Tony answers your questions, please thank you, Dots, again for reminding me to say it. Please like and share this video. Like and share this video. Get this truth out of how powerful and beautiful and amazing we are, and how we can actually unlock these abilities, these gifts that God put in us, that, creative designers, father, mother, whatever you want to call it, put inside each and every single one of you. So next question, Tony, you got a lot of questions.
Good.
Let's see. There was one where the person explained what that word, that G something word. But
Brett
let's see.
Berg.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys recommend drinking? Okay, monatomic gold.
Monatomic gold, the good stuff's hard to find. So yes, it's great. Monatomic gold passes out of your system in 12 hours. So it really doesn't do anything wrong. You should do a metal cleanse for like a month. The I'm saying it wrong. You should do a metal cleanse and then use the monoatomics after that. But it's hard to get the good stuff. Everybody's selling the white powder. It ain't all the same. So you need to find a trusted
Mhm.
one. The Ethereum gold, they quit selling it. I think you might be able to get the pills, is the best one. Ethereum monoatomic gold. But there's a few others and they come and go. So the quality is hard to. So I would say if you're doing it, keep track over a month or so of your results with the monoatomics, and stay with it. If you're not getting much of a big results, then switch to a different brand. But yes, what it does is it lets the electricity in your blood through your brain travel better, more with less resistance. It lowers the resistance of electricity traveling between your neurons. So
Ah,
that's what monoatomic gold does. So you think more. It gives you an antenna, basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
or Miss Gold, same thing. Monoatomics. There's monatomic platinum, palladium. There's all kinds of. They all have a way in there, but gold is one that's electrically conductive. So
Mm.
I don't know if there's a copper or silver, but that's why the metal cleanse helps because you got a lot of junk in there already that's causing electrical resistance in your thinking. And so you
Mhm.
do a cleanse and then replace it with a highly conductive metal, you think clearer. So I have a little bit of the Ethereum left. I'm kind of saving it. You know what I mean? For the
Mhm.
it's like my turbo booster. I'm hanging on to it. I only got a couple days left worth of it, but I've
Mhm.
always recommended it.
That's good. Very, very good to know. Okay, let's see. What about gamma waves?
Gamma waves are for your look right here. I've got my brainwave chart up. So
Okay.
gamma waves are 32 between 32 and 100, and that's where the healing harmonic is. And those are like high concentration. And actually, I'm doing research. I'm not done yet, but on memory.
Mm.
So the whole reason I spent money researching this stuff and buying the software to create binaurals was to play a tone that would help kids learn.
Yes.
That was the whole reason, and there are. So the Scion, when you look at the website now, there's only 3 of them on there right now. I've got 3 more in the works that'll be done soon. We're gonna have the obelisk on there, like it's gonna change. So please sign up for the email letter, and every time a new product gets added, especially the obelisk, then I'll send them. We're gonna make a memory one learning for students, a bunch of stuff. But in the gamma range is where those harmonics are. So you listen to one of those binaurals, and then what you learn, what you listen to, it sticks.
Hmm. I remember when you were talking about that, creating something to help children. So this is wonderful. Okay. Yes, I think he answered that right. You answered that. Are you speaking of?
Ormus Gold, yes, Brad. Ormus Gold. So, like I said, it's the Wild West out there. It's hard to find a reliable one. You got to ask around. And if you do take it, keep like a journal if
Hmm.
it's having an effect on you or not.
Okay, so let's see. Where can you find mono gold is the question. Tony, do you have any thoughts on that?
So, like I said, the one that I always recommended that was good was Ethereum, Etherium. But they quit making it. It's really hard to get. I think some people found where you can get the capsules of it. There was another one, and I'm sorry, guys, I don't have it off the top of my head. But some people can make it. I don't know about the colloidals. So
Mm-hmm.
the colloidals are more of a cellular thing, not a brain thing, as far as I know. There's a lot I don't know about them. So they're like a cell therapy, if I'm saying it right. So
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure. To tell you the truth about colloidal copper, I do not know.
No, I have not read that book.
Anunnaki Intel. No, I haven't.
Mm-mm. No. Let's see what else. What other? Hello, Germany. I think I saw 3 people from Germany here. So, hey guys, please don't forget to like and share. We have 97 people watching. Awesome, but only 17 likes or hearts. So please, like and share, like and share, like and share. Okay, let's see. Okay, what else? What else? uh, Scalar. Yeah, lots to learn about. Yeah, absolutely. So Tony, what else? So this is what you recommend. Uh, 7.83 or from 6, right, for people to get in that state where they can start. Go ahead.
Stay above 7.
Stay
For
above 7.
Yeah,
Good.
don't go under 7.
Okay, so stay above. So you guys
Yeah,
write that
I would
down. Stay
recommend
above
that for
7.
sure.
Okay.
Uh, the remote viewing one on Scion is a 783 with an isotronic, so it'll work in a speaker without headphones and with headphones good. But it's a 783, and it leaves you kind of in a sleepy state. You need one to wake you up, get up into the 40s and 50s. So the higher it is, when you wake up in the morning, when you're sleeping, and right before you wake up, you're in a theta for a few minutes. When
Mhm.
you wake up and you're groggy, that little in between being awake, you can still remember your dream, but you're awake. Well, I need some coffee.
Yeah.
That's an alpha. You're in the alpha state. Then when you get up and you get your coffee and you forget your dream, then you're is it the beta?
Wow. Okay.
Then the alpha, then the beta. So when you wake up and you get your first cup, now
Hmm.
you're in the beta state and you're still kind of not there. I'm in my 50s, so I wake up super slow. but you're in your beta. And then when you get on point, when you're actually concentrating, you get to work. Like, I'm going to get to work. I'm going to get out, do something.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gamma state of mind. So if you want to jump straight to the gamma, you can throw on one of those binaurals of 40 or above.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
how do I keep changing it?
Let's see. Many people in
Yeah,
Germany.
32 or above is for your gamma if you're going to do some work. And
So 32 and above is gamma if you're gonna do work.
gamma,
If you're gonna just
yes.
jump into it and okay.
And then when you're relaxed, you're watching TV, you fall into a beta or an alpha. Like if you know, when you're a couch potato, you're like right on the edge of alpha. You're like a low beta state of mind, and that's the couch potato. You're
Mhm.
not really thinking, you're just watching, and
Mhm.
they're programming you at that point.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Oh
Your brainwave state,
wow.
they move your brainwave state. It only takes 2 minutes to induce hypnosis, and that's the length of a commercial break.
Oh my gosh.
So the commercials are
Right.
putting you. So the show lulls you into a alpha or a bit low beta or an alpha state of mind. That's the show. When you sit there and you're like potato chips and you're just like
Oh my gosh.
watching the show, like this is a good show. This is actually a good movie. Then the commercial comes in and really drives home the message, whatever it is, whatever the subliminals are. And you know
Wow.
what? My whole strategy is like turn it against them. Can't beat them, join them. So I'm making my products with subliminal affirmations that are good for you. That's the whole point. It works, and you
Mm-hmm.
can undo. I'm going to do it on like a programming one. We've got like, and there are a lot of work. I voice work, and like I got to gather the sound score, and then
Oh, I
have
bet there.
copyrights, and so there's a lot of work that goes into one of these binaurals. But I've got 12 of them planned right now for the coming year, and especially I'd like to sell them on the spot at GSIC, and then the obelisk will be available in a limited
Mm-hmm.
because I've got to get quartz. It's hard to get quartz in a nano.
Oh wow.
But as they come, I'll make those available, and those have harmonics included too. And I'm not sure how I'm going to deliver the electronics yet.
Oh, Tony, that's remarkable. So when are you gonna get these? You said to sign up for the newsletter, right?
Yes,
Okay.
so they'll come out. I'm hoping to have the another one out, a healing session one out next week. So
Oh, awesome.
I really made a lot of progress called the healer. And so there's
Tony.
one on my Patreon site. Like I have them for sale on Patreon too,
Mm-hmm.
but they're like early versions.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
Scion ones are the ones that are like the full Monty. And
Oh
the
my goodness.
reason being is I wanted them to be available to people that didn't like this is a niche audience that know about my secret space program stuff, and they go to my Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody on my Patreon kind of knows that I was in a 20 and back, and that's my book. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, to turn around and sell that on YouTube, make a commercial on YouTube and put
Yeah.
it for sale is like people go, get out of here, this guy. You know what I mean? Like your
I know
mainstream
what you mean.
person.
Yeah.
And so I put a faceless sister company to it all so I can make these available because they really do work. And everybody that gets them really likes them. So I've had great
Well,
feedback about it. Some people don't like rain, some of the sounds in them. And, but I try to describe what's in them. Like some people have like weird hangups. Like I don't like hearing the ocean. And I'm like, well, it's a white noise. So it's about your
got
brain wave. I'm not care. I don't know about your childhood thing where you almost drowned. I don't know about that.
right,
So,
right,
um,
right.
anyway.
Wow. There's a good question here. Let's see, Tony. What do you know about sleep paralysis? What sleep paralysis actually is? That's a great question.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
So sleep paralysis, I think, has a couple things. So there are a couple phenomenons involved. For sure, abductees get it repeatedly. So people that are being abducted, contact, get sleep paralysis. It's a byproduct of abduction.
Hmm.
And with all the people that I talked to that were abducted, suffer from sleep paralysis. There is a medical version, that makes sense. I've had it myself. And it's weird because I always wake up really scared, like something bad happened. And but there's a medical version of it of sleep paralysis, and you can do things against it. You can, once you're in that, you realize like I can't wake up. I'm stuck in between
Mm-hmm.
being awake and asleep. I'm here. I'm awake, but I can't move. I'm proud. You know what I mean? You're stuck
Mm-hmm.
there. There's a few ways that it's the same way you train yourself to lucid dream. So you have to think before you go to sleep about doing things in a dream to realize that you're dreaming and become lucid. So, right. So lucid dreaming, sleep paralysis is the same thing. You can train yourself to come out of sleep paralysis if you're ready for it. Like if I get paralyzed, I'm going to bump my knee. or do whatever it is. Like I'm going to I'm going to remember being in pain. I'm going to wake right up. Right? You can train
Mm-hmm.
yourself
Mm-hmm.
mentally. It takes work,
Mm-hmm.
and but you can do it. So
Wow,
um,
wow. Let's see. Yeah, that one. For financial abundance, what do you recommend?
so I built one. So the financial abundance changes. So the idea is concentration. So up into a gamma, right? The one I built, my best one that everybody loves is the successful mindset, and it's got subliminals, it's got white noise, brown noise, it's got a gamma that it kind of goes in and out of beta to gamma. So the technique there with in conjunction with the subliminals, a 30-minute one. It's got some good music in there. Everybody loves the score, and a lot of I get people report me like, man, a guy's a stock trader and investor. He's like, I listen to it every single morning, every single morning. He's like, it's amazing. The subliminals tell you things like, what if you win? What if what you're afraid of actually pans out? What if
Huh.
you deserve success? You deserve it. You earn success on your own. You are in charge of your life. It's not bad luck. It's good luck. And
Yeah.
things like that are in the subliminal. That actually has the biggest power, I think, for the is in the successful. So I'm selling you. I forget that guy. Where was he at in the chat? The guy. I'm selling you my successful mindset one. But for a financial one, whatever your task you're going to do, I would say 40 hertz ish and above to be able to concentrate, to be awake. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be sleepy when you're trading, buying stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Tony, is sleep paralysis the same as night terror?
So night terror, I think is age
Children?
determined.
Yeah.
Kids only. Well, I'm like out of focus here. I'm not sure about the night terror term, the actual definition, but yes, it's the
Mm-hmm.
same. But it's um, my understanding that kids with night terror wake up screaming.
Yeah, it's and
A
they
different
can't.
thing.
You know, you try to wake them up and they can't. They're still in that terror.
Brad, you can go for free. You don't get a ton of videos, but you get posts that I make, and you can see what's going on. And then the groups, the remote viewing is like $50 a month. But we're there. I'm in 4 of those a week. So those are the groups there. But there's other tiers. If you go down, there should be more tiers.
Oops.
Uh, so that's the shop. See, that's like a post for free, and you can see they're blurred out. You can see what's going on. See how it's locked. So as you buy the tiers, the tier 2 is like $15, and that's like the Q&As that I do once a month. Tier 3 is more than that, and that's like on Tuesdays. And the remote viewing one, you can graduate, and it gets cheaper. See, it's 50 when you start, then you go to Quantum, and it's $5 less, and then Galaxy is $5 less. I haven't really uh, maintained those. Like Patreon's clunky. There's a lot of things I'd love to do to change it the way that this structure is. Oh, you're clicking over. But then there's the other ones too. Tier 3, it's tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And tier 1, I think, is $7.
This is great. Um,
Brad, there's no way to tell about your dream. I'm sorry, I'm in the chat asking that stuff.
no, I see. Good, go for it.
You might want
Great
that
question.
might be something that look for overlap with somebody else, corroboration. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a lot of people are having, including myself, are having dreams of ships floating in there, giant ships floating in the air above them. A lot of people are getting that recently, so maybe we're manifesting it or queuing up on the future. Information travels backwards in time.
Yes, yes. Okay, are the topics we are talking about binary beats and monatomic goals safe for children to use also is one of the
Yes,
questions.
I don't. So the monoatomics, there's no real damn. It's a mineral, and like I said, it goes through your body. It's basically like a sandy thing that goes through your body, and it's in and out in 12 hours. So the dose for children is what's relevant. The binaurals, I recommend to kids. Honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, you want to be only around that 6 minute mark. You don't need them to be listening to it all day long. You
Oh,
know.
that's a good thing that you're saying. So
So
6 minute.
you're really gonna, so you gotta, and the reason being is you want to let them develop. So we don't need them to be dependent on our binaural. So only 6 minutes, like that's the sweet spot. Like the hemisync is achieved in 6 minutes, and then for an adult
Hmm.
to go to that 30 minute, the hemisync stays for longer.
What's
For a kid,
hemisync, Tony?
so So it's the brainwave hertz of your hemispheres of your brain. So like I said, we naturally get confused, and so your artistic hemisphere and your logical hemisphere are out of sync.
Mhm.
So you see things only artistically or only logically, and you're kind of, you know what I mean? Like you go
Mhm.
to think about things, it takes forever. Like I don't get it. When you listen to a hemisync, it
Mhm.
plays a tone a little bit apart, and they're synced at that brainwave state. And so you're using more. You literally are using more of your brain on what you're thinking about at a certain time.
Oh,
So it
that's
makes you better. It makes you smarter. It literally does. So kids, first thing in the morning, um, where would I go? Like first thing in the morning, like a 13 hertz, 13, 15 in there. Let me look at the other cast. Uh, one that oops, wrong one. I'm working it on this end here.
Mhm.
So yeah, like a 20 hertz to a
20.
13 or a 20 for kids is what I'd recommend for 6 minutes,
Okay.
sometime in the morning, sometime before noon. And I would do that. So the school one is up in the 50s, but like we're still researching it.
Mhm.
And it's going to be on we're going to make a student series of the binaurals for that on
Oh,
science.
that's awesome, Tony. That's very, very good. How soon do you think you're going to do that?
It might be 6 months, might be in the next. A lot of work goes. One binaural takes like a month. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's a,
Oh, yeah.
and the reason being is because I can't just go and add whatever music I want.
Mhm.
That's the
Mhm.
biggest hang up is the music. And then we get voice actors, and you go through. And I'm doing all the engineering myself, so I like take the voice, get all the highs and lows out of there in Adobe, then cut it up, and then put reverb, and then cut it up again, and then put it in the track. So it's a little bit labor intensive, but it's worth it.
Probably this year.
Yeah. Oh
This
yeah, for
one.
sure.
Okay, that's very, very good. Wow. Okay, guys, any more questions before we let Tony get on with his day? I'm sure he has other awesome things and important things to do also.
No, you guys are awesome. This is what's awesome. It's great to see. I haven't seen you forever, man. It's great. It's like we're always friends every time
Absolutely.
we have a good connection. So
We
I
do.
just
I
love you.
enjoy it. I'm so thrilled. And you're gonna do amazing at all your conferences. I'm so excited for the conferences that you're doing, the information you're bringing. Let's see. There we go. I've been on this journey for so long, yet something keeps nagging at me. I know, but don't know. ADHD and slight brain damage. Well, maybe it's a blessing.
I think all of our blessings are our curses, and our
Interesting.
curses are our blessings. So you look at what happened to me in my book.
Yeah.
Getting the memories back of the 20 and back and the abduction led me on the road to where I'm at now, and it's become a blessing. It was a curse. It was a horrible.
Yeah.
My whole life was ruined in my teens and 20s. So my 20s were terrible. I was an emotionally not. I was very lonely and very emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Like I went through the curse of it,
Yeah.
but it's become with patience and time, it's become a huge blessing because here I am. It gave me a way to talk to people,
Sure.
and then researching it gave me a knowledge of science. And now here I look at me. So the
Yeah.
same way, your ADHD and your brain gives you some other ability that is a blessing that nobody else has. And that's, I think if you look at life like that, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's so good, Tony, and it's so true. It's there's the saying that it's like, would you change anything about your life, about your past? No, because you wouldn't be the person who you are today, with
Yeah, who knows what
all
was
the
horrible.
trauma. Yeah, everything you went through is just it. You will not be who you are today. You will not have the impact that you are having today in so many people's lives. And again, I want to encourage you guys, the stuff that you've been through, like Tony said, don't look at it as a curse, but look at it as a blessing in disguise, because that has really helped make you and shape and form you who you are today. And you are an incredible, powerful person that really you're having such an effect on so many people. You may not realize it, but the effect that you're having is huge. It's absolutely huge. So don't look at the cup half empty. Look at it half full. Look at yourself as being the incredible person, being that you are, in this process of awakening, and your frequency and your light. It's so, Tony, last, do you have any other thoughts that you want to share with people? You guys throw in your questions really fast. Tony, you have anything
I
else?
want to say there's a lot of stuff that's happening fast, a lot for everybody. So we're all in the same boat. The world's changing quick, and so just ride it out, man. You know, like I'm just trying to go with it here, and I'm hoping for the best, and just trying to stay steady. That's it. So I think that the world is in a big upheaval right now,
Yeah.
politically, financially, spiritually, mentally, like everything across the board. People are having being challenged, and
Yeah.
so just stay the course. You know what I mean? Like something good's around the corner. This is a birth pain.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
Huge. Huge birth pain. Last question I'm gonna throw in, Tony. Is the Blue Lotus tea helpful for remembering? Do you know anything about that?
Blue Lotus is good tea. So the Blue Lotus is great for dreaming. So when you do, if you want to do lucid dreaming and you want to, like I said, it's the wild and mild techniques you can look at for dreaming, and we're researching that too. So it turns out psychoenergetics is very potent when you're asleep. The
Uh-huh.
theta state, it's the theta mind state, which is the Schumann resonance of the whole planet, and that's when you're dreaming. So being able to lucid dream in the theta state is extremely powerful. Blue Lotus can do that, can help you lucid dream. But it's like anything, any other substance, coffee or anything, too much of it's bad for you.
Yeah.
And I mean too much. So, but a little bit of Blue Lotus going into, and then setting an intention before sleep. I'm going to wake up, or I'm going to realize I'm dreaming and wake up, and then I'm going to work towards this. You know, setting an intention like that, and then a little bit of Blue Lotus before bed uh, it can be beneficial. I'll say like that.
Yeah. Wow, Tony, this is so awesome. Can you scroll up to my question? Let's see what's Starseed and Patriots Down Under. What? I'm sorry. Let's see your question. Can you retype it really fast?
A question of Corina about ancients using remote viewing the future events to get an accurate reading of our approaching golden age. So
Hmm.
remember, the ancients everybody can remote view. Information travels backwards in time. There's certain things that can't be changed. However, people in the future that are being remote viewed in real time are aware that they're being watched, and it can perturb the future. So there are techniques about it. There's ways to remote view the future. Absolutely. I believe that the CIA has remote viewing plagiarism.
Yeah.
That they remote view what's the hit song, what's the hit book 10 years from now, and then they try to recreate it and stay ahead of it. We see it all the time. A book comes out and it's on Amazon and there's something. So
Yeah.
Veronica, I want to say this, Veronica released her book Out of Sight, which is a huge research book. She's been working on it for a year. And it was that sort of thing. Like her name, it came up with a bunch of other books that are like naughty books under her name.
Oh
And it
wow.
was like that wasn't there. And then her book got released and we see like there's a list if you type her name with a C instead of a K. And so there's a lot of stuff going on. I that book is a good set of research, and it shows a lot. She had a lot her own experiences,
Yes.
and
Yes.
was able to turn up because she was near the same place where my project came out of,
Oh wow.
and so
Wow. Wow.
she grew up there. And when we started really pulling the ravel at it, we found a lot of data that was confirmable data. So that book's really good. But it just came out and it went through the same thing. There is remote viewing plagiarism.
Yeah.
Let's remote view the biggest hit of 2030 and start practicing to make it before they do, kind of thing.
Wow. 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 That's just insane. Well, Tony, we are going to have you back. Did you guys enjoy the show?
Anytime.
Oh my gosh, I love having you. I love you're incredible. You guys, thank you so much for being with us. Woo! Karen loves those buttons. Tony, thank you for being here with us. I so appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here from all over the world. Please continue to share this video. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your questions. We love you guys. Remember that you are more powerful than you think you are. Tap into who you truly are. Go and unlock those abilities and let your light shine. Love you guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.